Hello, how y'all doing? I hope everybody's doing well and staying safe. I want to remind you that Valentine's Day is around the corner, and Cameo has provided me an excellent platform that allow me to interact with my fan and wish them happy Valentine's Day. You may want to take advantage of this opportunity and let me wish your loved one happy Valentine's Day.
How can you not love this guy? I mean, I actually wanted to begin this video pretending to be outraged that someone would give a Dr. Now as a cameo gift, but I can't even pull off that ruse right now because of that adorable video of the man himself. You all know that on this channel, I'm absolutely against patient bullying and mean doctors, and with only a superficial dive into Dr. Younan Nowzaradan, you would think he's the biggest bully in medicine. There is so much content devoted to his sharp and sometimes blunt quotes and so-called savage moments. But all you have to do is look at the ratings and reviews and the comments from his real-life patients, and you'll know that the doctor is beloved. I think it's for good reason. Today, I'm presenting deep dive content for a celebrity who I would honestly be elated to receive a cameo from. No chocolate or flowers needed. Just give me a message from Dr. Younan Nowzaradan. In 2012, My 600-Pound Life premiered as a 5-part miniseries on TLC that followed 4 morbidly obese patients as they attempted to lose weight.
Come get this bag out of the floor. It has been 10 years since my weight loss surgery, and life is so different now. Before I lost the weight, I was miserable and barely living life. And my dream was to have kids.
It's great having her home, having all these kids around her. I hope that she can eventually have a baby of her own.
Now, I'm able to be active all day, and I have 2 wonderful kids, Alana and Eli. Good job. At my heaviest, I was 653 pounds. After bypass, I had lost almost 500 pounds and got down to 157 pounds. I've never been this size, never in my life. But the last time I got my weight checked, I was back up to around 270 pounds. Most of that weight gain has been from my pregnancies. I gained around 20 pounds when I had Alana 4 years ago. But during my pregnancy with Eli 2 years ago, I gained almost 100 pounds. Alana, do you want yours cut? I didn't realize how hard it was going to be when you have kids and have food for them around you all day long. When I was pregnant with Alana, it was a little easier because I didn't have to feed another child. But when I was pregnant with Eli, having cravings while I was fixing her snacks and meals was hard to resist. And now I have 4 kids in my house because my nephew Corey and my niece Nia have come to live with us too. I'm feeding kids all day long, so it's hard to stick to a diet. And I didn't expect how much my world would change being a mom and the struggles that would bring. After having Eli, my husband Chris and I decided that he would be the one that worked, and I would stay home and raise our children.
This series proved so popular that at the time of this video, My 600-Pound Life has ran for 11 seasons. The show ranks at the 98th percentile in the reality genre. Many productions have been inspired by the success of My 600-Pound Life, and there were a few documentaries prior to that which followed the journey of individuals in their battle against obesity. But few have even come close to the success of My 600-Pound Life. The secret sauce for the success of this particular docuseries is no doubt the man of the hour, Dr. Younan Nowzaradan. Dr. Nowzaradan began his career as a cardiologist. He had spent 4 years in St. Thomas's internal medicine residency in Nashville, Tennessee, and then he completed a fellowship in cardiology at the Texas Heart Institute in Houston, Texas. It's well known that Houston, Texas and obesity are closely associated, with many sources through the years labeling it America's fattest city.
Houston, Texas is the fourth largest city in the Union, in the state where size most definitely matters. Texas is bigger than Germany, the UK, Ireland, the Netherlands, and Belgium put together. Everything's bigger in Texas is the boast in these parts, and for some that extends to their waistline too.
So it makes sense that as a cardiologist, Dr. Now would be frequently exposed to obese patients early in his career. But how did he rise to become the man when it comes to treating very obese patients? I believe Dr. Now is that guy because whether you watch him for personal inspiration as someone who battles with weight issues or as a fascinated onlooker, you don't have to watch long to see the sincere heart of this skilled surgeon. And these skills, by the way, are quite impressive. Dr. Now is a general surgeon by training, but most doctors in his field don't perform every type of surgery. In general, so to speak, most surgeons stick to a limited, specific set of procedures. But if you watch episodes of My 600-Pound Life, you may notice that Dr. Now is often scrubbing for the bariatric procedures of gastrectomy and gastric bypass, of course. But you may also notice him in the same episode perform endoscopy or a cholecystectomy, like aka gallbladder removal, and maybe even removal of a lymphedema or extra skin. This is truly extraordinary. But wait, there's more. Dr. Nowzaradan is also responsible for pioneering use of laparoscopic, less invasive surgical techniques in ways not thought possible. This lowered the risk of bariatric weight-reducing procedures for the extremely morbidly obese patient.
Gastric sleeve of VNA. Her tests all look good, and she lost another 44 pounds over the last month, putting her at 482 pounds, which means she's under the 500 mark for the first time in almost 20 years. Okay, let's start. So she's still making good progress, and she has proved to me she's ready to have this operation today. But even though VNA has lost over 120 pounds, at this point, she's still over 400 pounds. We can turn the room right off. And doing any surgery on a person this size is extremely high risk because of the enormous strain their body is already under with their weight. So any additional strain, no matter how small, could push their body to a point where it is too much and it starts to give out. So if there are any issues that concern us, we will have to stop the surgery early. But if we are able to successfully complete her gastric sleeve today, it will help VNA to stay on track like she needs and lose even more weight. Because the sleeve gastrectomy is an operation that we remove 80 to 90% of the stomach, leaving a small narrow tube that looks similar to a sleeve. So the patient's food intake is physically limited. So this operation will give them an opportunity to lose even more weight. Go a little bit higher. I don't like what I'm seeing on the monitor. Her body is not handling the strain.
Okay, flatten table.
She's about to start coding. Her heart is stopping.
Room lights on, room lights on.
We need to pump on the chest.
I don't feel pulse. Start circumference, I don't feel pulse. Get the crash start. Get the crash start, Laura, now.
Okay, same here, guys, go. I need an arm line snack. Give it another Epi.
Epi's going in. Epi and Epi are both enjoy if you're charting.
Okay, I need a second person on round for chest compression.
All right. We're working on airline over here. All right, get this out of the way.
I need pads.
Is there way for the
Pads are on.
Procedure, her body started to struggle from the strain, and then her condition started to decline rapidly until her heart stopped. So even though all her tests were good prior to the surgery, the strain of all the weight someone this size has on them means their body could hit its limit at any point and start to struggle like this. And in VNA's case, her pulmonary system wasn't able to handle the operation right now. So we immediately revived her and stabilized her. And right now, we're waking her up and putting her out of anesthesia to get her to recovery so she can rest. Because it's going to be too risky to attempt to complete her operation today.
Dr. Now was accepting 600-pound plus patients at a time when most other surgeons were not, and he has since trained other surgeons in laparoscopic bariatric surgical techniques. I believe he arrived at such innovations because of his sincere desire to help individuals who were being left on the road to early deaths. Dr. Now's life work alone gives testimony that supports the characterization of this surgeon as one who truly cares about a particular patient population who are often mistreated or undertreated and even humiliated out of seeking medical care. Dr. Now has not only remembered these patients and invented a unique approach to help them, but I also believe his bedside manner is often the best thing that could happen to someone who is unfortunate enough to be in a position of being able to qualify to be a personality on a show like My 600-Pound Life. Take, for example, the case of this morbidly obese couple, Renee and Lee.
How y'all doing?
Surviving.
Surviving, huh? So is that why you missed your last appointment? Okay. You just had your bypass about 2 months ago. And when you left the hospital, you were down to 546. So you lost only 9 pounds since then. But Renee has lost almost 50 pounds at the same time. And she hasn't even had her bypass yet. What in the world is going on with you?
I guess I'm eating the wrong things.
You think it's funny? You have a gastric bypass.
I had a gastric bypass,
to
yes.
lose weight.
To lose weight.
And you're not losing weight.
I don't eat a third what I ate
just
before I
answer
had
the
that
question,
surgery.
okay? Then
You're
we're not
asking
talking
me
about
questions that I don't understand no more than you understand.
What are you talking about? You're choosing to overeat and you think it's okay?
No, I don't think it's okay at all.
So what is going on?
I guess I'm not eating the right things. I mean...
We gave you the instruction that you need to follow, and you're not following. You play your cards right until you got the surgery. And now you're playing this kind of game, and you think that's okay? How in the world somebody...
I don't see how I'm playing any game. I throw up constantly. I eat what I can keep down.
That's how it works. You throw up constantly because the surgery forces you to when you overeat now.
I think my problem is I'm holding a lot of fluid. I can't hardly pee.
Really?
I mean, I don't know what, I mean, you...
What do you mean you don't know? And you think that you're not eating and you're getting...
I don't want to get malnourished either.
Do you look like you're malnourished? You're overeating, and whatever you're overeating, you're throwing up. It means the surgery is working to hold you back when you make bad choices. And it's the only reason that you didn't gain 100 pounds these past 2 months.
Do you not want me to eat at all?
You know that's not what I'm saying at all. You have been given a tool to help you change your life. Now that you had the surgery, the physical drive to eat is gone. So you have to deal with what is driving you to eat. That's the hard part, and you don't want to do it. And you're running from it and self-destructing.
I'm done with this conversation. Go to her.
No, we're gonna finish with you.
No, we're not finishing with me. You're making me mad.
You sit down right there. You sit down right over there.
No, I'm...
I simply don't know of many professionals in any field who would be willing to try and compel a grown man to sit down and complete his appointment and do what's best for himself. Again, as a My 600-Pound Life binger, I have never seen Dr. Now be abusive. He is a highly skilled surgeon with 54 years of experience, yet every episode he seems to put all of that ego aside that could easily come with that sort of status, and he focuses squarely on doing whatever it takes to motivate critical patients to do their part to beat the odds and survive. Dr. Now's patients all come to him in a deep hole of despair and real danger. And it's like this physician says, let's both get a shovel and dig like crazy so we can get you out. And I'm aware that there are cameras around Dr. Now and that can change how people behave in the moment sometimes. But I've seen Dr. Now make house calls, personally help patients stand up. I've seen Dr. Now himself pick up the phone and call patients to check in and even push them in their wheelchairs. What I can tell you from my personal medical school and residency experience is that there are many doctors so arrogant it would never even occur to them under any circumstances, cameras or not, it would never occur to them to themselves hands-on physically assist a patient, especially a large one trying to stand up. Dr. Now just does not seem to be performing for the camera. When we tune into My 600-Pound Life, we see a very talented doctor displaying all this concern and passion. I just don't see how anyone could fabricate this level of care. I think his earnest efforts are on display most clearly during his so-called savage moments.
Yes, sir. Can you talk to her about the food that they've been sitting in here?
Well, I don't know why you don't like the food that everybody else eats in the world. Show me what they brought you.
This, I didn't touch it.
Well, that's good lunch.
I don't eat that. I don't eat beans at all. I don't even know what that is. And this look like dog food.
You don't like meat?
I don't eat stuff like this.
But that's good nutrition, that's good protein, right?
I don't eat beans at all.
But how about the meat?
I don't eat that kind of meat. I haven't really ate nothing since I've been here.
You're not gonna fade away. You're gonna be fine.
I still have to eat something.
No. You're eating the food that belongs to the next 4 years ahead of time. So if you don't eat, you're gonna be all right. At your weight, body got the reserve that you don't eat anything for a week or two, you're not gonna have anything gonna happen.
But like in a hospital, when taking medication and having to take different medicine, you have to have food in your system to take the medicine, not to be nauseated. But the dog food that they give me here is not, I don't eat stuff like that.
And that's not dog food, that's very good food.
Well,
I'm not even sure most families are invested enough to go back and forth with someone fighting that hard for their food. I think most of us would just give up and get in that drive-thru line if we're honest. Dr. Now's sincere heart is not only displayed on the docuseries though. I once thought Dr. Now was too hard on patients, but I did not think it was out of maliciousness. I never thought that. I once believed he just did not understand that maintaining a healthy weight is more difficult for some people even when they are really trying. Me being from a family where many members struggle with obesity, I have personally observed a person eat the same or less calories than most normal weight individuals, yet still struggle with obesity. It was not until reading Dr. Now's book that I realized he did appreciate this phenomenon. In his book, The Scale Does Not Lie, People Do, Dr. Now writes, "As a surgeon, I am blessed with a career that has afforded me on a daily basis the ability and opportunity to make a significant difference in people's lives. It is gratifying to witness how a surgical procedure can radically improve someone's quality of life and sometimes save their life. Weight loss surgery has been particularly rewarding and inspiring. Obesity is linked with higher risk of several health conditions such as high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, hyperlipidemia, coronary artery disease, congestive heart failure, obstructive sleep apnea, asthma, respiratory conditions, and many forms of cancers. It is impressive to see the resolution of many of these disabling conditions associated with obesity due to weight loss by the surgical intervention. As a result of weight loss surgery, we see elimination or reduction of high blood pressure, diabetes, sleep apnea, congestive heart failure, respiratory difficulties, and many other conditions. Additionally, we witness a significant improvement in their quality of life and their emotional well-being. My heart goes out to severely obese individuals who are generally misunderstood, misjudged, and invariably shunned by society. Severe obesity is a disease with genetic predisposition. It simply is not a person's choice or their moral failure. It is not entirely due to the lack of discipline and willpower. In fact, dieting, exercising, and lifestyle modifications would not significantly impact severe obesity, and without surgical intervention, these individuals will not have a normal lifespan. Many factors involving severe obesity are simply outside of an individual's control. We should strive to understand their lack of ability to enjoy life, their daily struggles, and the humility they endure. As a society, we should neither be prejudiced or discriminate against them. We should try to understand that their obesity is not their choice. Severely obese individuals are desperate for care. This segment of our population, due to their condition, become disabled and economically depressed and considered to be high risk for any medical care. Our response should not be just to eat less and exercise more. Granted, the quantity of food consumption will have direct result on the individual's weight gain or loss, But the drive to consume food is what needs to be understood and addressed. Obesity is a complex, chronic, and relapsing metabolic disease as the result of genetic predisposition in a specific environment that is interconnected with groups of many diseases. The metabolic condition of obesity that controls energy balance and calorie expenditure will set the body weight point such that it is for the most part out of a person's control. Stigma, bias, prejudice, and discrimination against severely obese individuals in our society extends to our healthcare system. Bias and negative attitudes of healthcare providers towards obese individuals that are desperately seeking help will significantly undermine the outcome of treatment. Inevitably, the quality of care for severely obese individuals falls short of expectations. Sometimes they are denied access to care completely. Imposing weight limits by healthcare providers and facilities is a good example of such discrimination. Without a doubt, care of the super morbidly obese, such as 600-pound individuals, requires additional resources and enormous time and effort in comparison to less obese individuals. As a doctor, regardless of how difficult the situation may be, we should never lose hope for any patient. We should understand their disease and their daily struggles. It is our moral obligation to provide them with compassionate quality care, free of prejudice or discrimination. In return, it is truly rewarding and gratifying to witness the transformation of a person that endured a life of misery and suffering into a person who now lives an enjoyable and hopeful life. True happiness is changing the people's lives. We live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. It is our mission to influence the public as well as the medical community to change bias and negative opinions regarding severely obese individuals. Me, Dr. Now, is that man. Who wouldn't want a cameo from this hero, Dr. Younan Nowzaradan?
Expectancy to live to be over 90 years old. So you got 50 years to take this medication. That is not usually successful. So you need to work on the core issues that drive you to eat and have a plan to correct your eating habit and understand what are the issues and what you need to do to maintain healthy weight. I will have soon a podcast that will help you to do what you need to do to get to there. So we'll see you pretty soon, okay?